Hi, today we're going to be breaking the tradition and we're going to talk about menopause from the other side of the fence. We're going to be talking about it as menopause for men, not the andropause, but the menopause. So I'm going to be talking about it because I run lots of sessions for men, and many men find that they feel very uncomfortable talking about it. They don't know how to broach the subject. They don't know how to have that conversation with their partner or their colleague and without causing offence. And they value a space where they get to ask all those questions without any form of judgment. So I'm going to answer some of the questions that I regularly get asked over the next 4 videos. The first 2 are going to be about menopause at home, so with men and their significant other or a family member. And the second 2, that's the last 2, they're going to be menopause at work, so men and their colleagues or their team members. So today's subject is going to be the sort of grounding in what the menopause is and why it's so damn difficult to discuss. And there's going to be some really easy steps in how to help the person that's in your life who's experiencing this. So I'm going to often refer to this as your partner. Which is why I just fell over myself there. I'm going to refer to it as your partner, but wherever I say that, please feel free to substitute that with mother, sister, aunt, cousin. It's the same. Obviously, there are parts of the menopause which aren't the same, but I'm not going to discuss those today. So by all means, just substitute the word for whichever person it is. So why are we in this position? Well, quite frequently, men and women arrive at the menopause without any awareness of what it is, because culturally, we've had centuries of not talking about it, not discussing it. And it being seen very much as a women's problem. So it's something that could be swept under the carpet that men did not, or at least at the very best, or should not discuss. But times have changed, and men want to support their partners as they go through this process. So if we are talking about your partner, it's extremely likely that you don't remember anything from your mum's experience or your aunt's experience or anyone else's experience, because that wasn't discussed. And women don't even discuss it amongst themselves. So women arrive at this phase unprepared and unaware of the symptoms that they're going to experience. And it can feel really scary to suddenly be in a position where you've lost all control of what's going on. So it's changing your behaviors, the way that you're interacting with people. And because of that, women can again act strangely because they're desperately trying to gain some level of control. One of the reasons for all of that is that stereotypes around women of menopausal age have been extremely negative. We have had awful things said about menopausal women being over the hill, past it, unattractive, old hag, dried up old prune, shrill rather, shrew, that's the word I was coming to. All of these things are very, very common historically as terms that were aimed at women of menopausal age. And no woman wants to admit to that. Who would want to? Nobody would. So it's something that's considered to be very undesirable, so not discussed at all. But because we don't discuss it, we rob ourselves of the opportunity to help ourselves and ensure that we have a supportive environment and choices should we need additional help. So let's have some facts. What is it about the menopause? Okay, so what's the age of menopause? The average age in the UK and in the US and most of the Western world is 51. And we call culturally the whole thing the menopause, but actually the menopause is the 12 months since your very last period. And we can only, because of the nature of these things, we can only view it retrospectively, and the average age that occurs in this country is 51. But 1% of all women have their menopause before the age of 40. So once you get into that 40 age group, you start getting very, very close to this, because the average age that you will experience symptoms, so of which there is a very long list of over 40, the average age that you will experience symptoms is somewhere between the age of 45 and 55. Yes, really, 45 and 55. Now you're already getting a hint here of the other big issue that's involved with menopause. And that is that it goes on for a very, very long time. It goes on for somewhere between, on average, 4 to 8 years. Note, I'm using the word average a lot here. But I've seen many women regularly who are in excess of 10 years with their symptoms. So this is a big deal for women. And there's no days off. It's not like a pregnancy. It's not like periods where it's just a few days of the month, and it's not a fixed term like pregnancy. Every woman is different, but it's every single day and every single night of all of those years. So you can see it's extremely attritional. And because of that, you might be thinking, oh my God, I'm going to have a really hard time with this. If that is what you're thinking, stop right there. Because whatever it is that you're experiencing, I can tell you, the woman in your life, your partner, is experiencing a whole lot more. This has a massive iceberg effect. So you're just seeing the tip. She's experiencing the whole thing. It doesn't matter how hard your partner tries, you will experience some of those symptoms alongside her. So, what can you do? And this is where it gets interesting. So, there are 4 key steps. Step number 1, remember, as soon as you get into the 40 age group, so 40 to 55 age group, you're in the zone to start to see some of these symptoms starting to appear. And they range from all sorts of things like depression and anxiety to insomnia to mood swings to loss of confidence and weight gain. And the list is long. Remember, I said there were 40 of them. So make yourself aware of what those symptoms are and start to be on the lookout, because once they start to come in, they can start to come very quickly indeed. So number 2 in your 4 steps. Number 2 is, whilst this is something that she is experiencing directly, you are most definitely in this with her. And you are experiencing many of those symptoms indirectly. And it's a time for the 2 of you to start to reconnect and to talk about what's going on, which leads us to step number 3, and that is conversation. Oh my goodness, this is a time for conversation. Conversation is where this begins, because it goes on a long time and it changes as you go through it. This is a time to sit down and talk about how you're both experiencing this and to offer up support, because in this space, you are a team of 2. You are the team together that's going to get through this. But if you do all of this, then it is likely that at the other end of menopause, that you will be far stronger and far more connected than you have ever been, which brings us on to step number 4. Okay, that this is an opportunity. this is not just about dealing with all of the symptoms. This is an opportunity for the two of you to grow together and to develop together. So to ensure that your relationship deepens, strengthens, becomes bigger than it has ever been. Because the menopause it heralds a change in her life and therefore a change in both of your lives. So this is an opportunity, and as such, in the next video, we're going to be talking about how to ensure that you get the most out of that opportunity that you possibly can by asking the right questions, by ensuring that you plan together, think together, and have fun together. So if some of that feels like something that you want for your relationship, make sure you watch the next video. That's it. Please subscribe, please leave your comments, and I will see you soon.